Created me to be just like you. Then you breathe life into me. And with every breath, I join heaven in harmony. We are the vessels chosen to carry the glory of heaven in clay. The tabernacle is the glorious fire resting place. Our hearts are the altar, praise is the offering. We send up the glory. You send up the glory. Greatness, power, beauty, your mercy, your goodness. You made me, created me. See, we are the vessels, come and say, glorious power. Chosen to carry the glory of heaven. The tabernacle in place within us. Yes, God. Give it all to Welcome to the Life. I'm Pastor Jay, lead pastor of the Life Center Church Reloaded. I want you to know I'm very happy that you decided to join us today. And I pray that something said and seen during this live video will impact your life and cause you to continually pursue your God-given purpose. Listen, while you're watching this video, be sure to stop, like, and share so that not only you can experience what's going on live at the Life, but your family, friends, and loved ones can experience the joy that you're sharing in today. Be sure to follow us on social media, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and feel free to drop us a message, and we'll be happy to respond. We thank you for watching us tonight. We pray that what's getting ready to take place will bless you and will impact you for the long haul. God bless you. Enjoy this video.
Good evening, my lovelies. I hope everyone
What's
is
up?
doing well tonight.
Oh
So,
yeah, we gotta get in closer.
yeah, all of my usual co-hosts, Pastor Jay, Lady Ann, and Elder Torrance, they all cornflaked on me tonight. So you're stuck with me, which I say is a gift. You're welcome. So we also have joining us my trusty sidekicks, my brother and sister all the way from LA, California. Hey.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
Bishop, Dee Allen, and Lady T, the beautiful. Oh, are those braids? Are we braid twinsies?
Yes, yes,
Honey,
yes.
when I tell you Cynthia has my scalp snatched right now, probably won't be doing it again. But it's okay. It's good to try and new things and spread your wings,
Right.
Black
So
power.
it would hurt if it get like smashed on, you
What?
know. Yeah, like how tight is the braids?
When I could not turn my head for almost the entire 48 hours, which is way too tight.
See, I love it when my wife get her hair first braided because that is the most humble, submissive. And then any word, any wrong move, and I should be like, "What you
Yeah,
said?"
so what you're saying is you mess with her.
I do
Just
not like that.
reach out and touch and grab and squeeze.
That's not cool, but I do value my edges. So if ever I indulge in braids again, I'll be like, hey,
Uh-huh.
Cynthia, you gonna have to loosen that up. I likes my edges. So you running around here bald on the sides anyway. But I'm
That
so glad to see you, my beautiful sister and
glad to
brother.
see you too.
That's see,
So
that's what I'll be talking about. Y'all just be doing us like any kind of own way because now
we
I'm just
have
curious.
to. It's a
Question:
pact.
You on your cell phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Turn it sideways. Let me see if it's gonna.
No.
You know, if it's just. I
Is
shut
that
up.
better? That's too
Mhm.
close for comfort. It really is.
See, because the folk gotta see the work. You see the twins, her eyebrows, they're twins. They ain't sisters.
You right. You right.
Hair's
You
on
better
point.
let everybody know that you just know about hair and all this
I'm
stuff.
just saying, you teach me well, baby. That's all. I mean,
That's a good man. That's a good man. What I
What is wrong?
love while we're on that is a dad who can style their little girl's hair. Oh my gosh, that is the best thing on earth.
I think it's the cutest. I
I
think
have
it's
that kind of husband.
yeah. We have a
Okay.
cousin that you do
Yeah,
hair. Try to.
thank you.
that's black excellence.
Black lives matter. Husbands that
Whatever.
husbands that can do hair matter. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, absolutely. That increases your value by so much measure.
I'm
You just
saying,
elevate.
do you know how many husbands cannot do hair and the wives who wish they could do hair?
Yeah,
I don't mind.
I don't mind sitting and doing my wife, taking my wife hair out. I don't mind, taking the weave out and having the right scissors and making sure I don't cut her actual hair out. And
You hold on to him, boo.
shoot, I used to do my daughter's hair too. Now they too bougie for me to touch the hair. So whatever.
Yeah. At some
He goes
point, it
up
will
to
die.
them. He goes up to them and be like, "So y'all want me to do y'all hair?" And they be like,
I get no love.
No, it's
That
okay.
is so cute. Aw, keep trying. One day you might get a yes.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Not with these
Well, that's
girls.
fine. All right. Well, tonight is a little different. Um, I decided to pick the topic, and I'm gonna pick something near and dear to me. So it's kind of geared towards not the men, but the ladies. Um, I want to talk about. You're still there. We're still going to get your input, but
I'm
I
gonna
really,
put myself into it. So
Oh,
yes, I know you will. I know absolutely you will. Um, but I always find the topic interesting. First ladies. Anybody who knows me knows I hate that term for my own personal reasons. Uh, I can. I'm perfectly okay with not being referred to as first lady.
you
Uh,
said for personal reasons.
yeah, we'll get to that. Don't scratch at that one, okay? Don't scratch at that one.
Tonight. Oh, I'm petty tonight.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm cool. A lot of people don't feel this way, but I'm cool with people addressing me as Tiandria. That's who I am. As you can see, that's my little name tag there. I don't feel that takes away from my position or my anointing or my calling one way or another. It's what's on my birth certificate, and that is, it's sufficient. So, but just tell me, do you encounter this a lot? I think it's so funny that there are ladies out there that covet this position. Like that's what they set out to do, is to become a first lady. What? I find that absolutely ludicrous. Um, I mean, what do you think? Have you encountered that? Like, are those? Have you?
I know of a few that loves the title more than they like the marriage.
Oh, we going there tonight.
And they're
Come on.
because the title gives them that pedestal that they think they can't be knocked down from. But the truth is, the members will knock you down faster than your own husband will knock you down off your
Oh,
title
absolutely.
that you have. So I do know a lot of women that are prepping themselves to be a title. And I
Hey, a
think
first
that,
lady trainer.
yeah, they want that because they think it's something to that. If you've been in ministry, I've been in ministry my whole life. I've been in church my whole life. Um, I love the first ladies that are actually they're first ladies of the church, but you could tell they're a wife to their husbands, and
Hmm.
they're active with members. I know particular women that if you don't call them first lady, they get an attitude with you. Call
Oh
me,
yes.
and it to me is more of like our church members call me Lady T. I'm okay
Hmm.
with that, but when for some of them, when we're not at church, you see me out. You don't have to always say Lady T. I know it's respecting of the title, but like I don't know. For me, it's on and off. Like I don't put a big fight on making a statement. I'm the first lady of the church. My statement is I'm his wife. That's
Right. Right.
I don't
That's
carry
important.
that. And plus, people really don't know that first ladies are behind the scene in a lot of stuff. A lot of them think it's just sitting there on the front row, like you get privileges and all this other stuff. No, sometimes you have to
Whoop.
wait like a regular member.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sit there for hours when you don't want to. Sometimes you go places you really don't want to go to. But because of that title and the fact that it is about image when you're stepping out with your pastor husband, that has a calling in is preaching somewhere else, you have to do those things. A lot of people think that it's easy. Oh, you get to walk in and everybody stare at you. Boo, that don't mean
I
nothing.
hate that.
Right. You don't even know what's going on in their head while they're staring at you. And I can imagine some of the thoughts that they have. So it's not for me. I don't too much care about, I respect the title. I try to do my best with the title, but I'm just not, only title I love is like wife and mom. I'm cool on that because I have big time authority over those things. But
Absolutely. Boss.
first lady, like calling me, hey, first lady, and all this other stuff, like I respect people that do that, but you'll look at me and I'll be like, you can just call me Takika, and they'll be like, what? I like Takika, and they say, I'm like, never mind, because you're going to mess my name up anyway. Lady T is fine, so it is what it is.
So yes, and I think that's why. Well, I don't think, I absolutely know that's why you are my sister, and I close you're near and dear to my heart because you're a woman after my own heart. Like you get it, and my husband will be the first to tell you. Like when I walk in to a church setting or any setting where I accompany him somewhere, I don't need to go directly to the pulpit. I'm not doing that. More than likely, I'm not going to the first row.
What's
He'll
wrong
look
with sitting
out.
husband
Look
in the
out.
pulpit that
No,
layout?
he'll look out and he know where I am. I'm at the back. I'm at the back, chilling, and I'm perfectly okay with being at the back. I'm not one to want to be out in the front, like that. But I don't think a lot of people also understand the sacrifice that we have to endure as quote unquote first ladies or wives to, I mean, don't let them be a bishop or something of that sort. It just goes to a whole nother level.
Hey,
But I just find it interesting that you have ladies that covet the title. I mean, and if it works for you, it works for you. It's fine.
right.
um that's just not me, and that's not my sister, so that's cool. So I just really wanted to get your way in. I know a lot of times you don't, even as a first lady or the wife of a pastor or a bishop, you don't have a lot of ladies that you can um connect with,
Right.
to where it's a genuine connection,
Right.
and you can go to them when you need to vent, because we need to vent too. It's not
Right.
just pastors need to be poured into, but I believe their wife, their significant other, because we are that person on the front line with them.
Right.
And so a lot of things that they endure and they encounter, we do too, if not even more, because we're having to stand there with them, but also we're the ones that pour into them when behind closed doors,
Let, let
per
me
se.
let me ask you this: how important do you feel that, and if it is important, to develop other relationships with other first ladies? Because by default, I've seen a lot where you have some first ladies that they don't want to deal with other first ladies. Some to where like, okay, cool, but how, in your experience, do you think it's important or not important to deal with other
I
firsts?
For me, I think it's twofold. It's important for you to have your own personal connection with those that you mesh with. By no means do I feel like every first lady should be on that level, because you have different personalities, you have different styles of what you feel like a first lady is, and what you bring to your ministry. um, but I think for me, I would have loved to have a mentor, because we are still young, and I came into this very young. Although I grew up in church, my grandmother was the district missionary. I was groomed to be a lady, a dignified lady with class above all. But it's a little something extra that you need in order to be prepared to be the first lady of the church, to be the wife of a pastor or a bishop. And I think it would have prepared me more. Hi, Pastor Jay.
Don't stop,
Ooh,
get
put a
it.
smile on.
What y'all doing on here?
Did he just interrupt the whole? Did he just drop in?
Never mind what I was saying.
Wow. Okay, now it's even better view.
What y'all what y'all doing on here?
We just on here talking about first ladies going a while in the pulpit.
First ladies go wild.
First ladies don't.
I wish.
Lord, I can't be absent.
First of all, you should know Bishop B.D. Allen a little better to know that is not the case. And he just made that up.
Stop being saved when I'm absent, Lord Jesus.
But we was talking about the importance and non-importance of first ladies having that bond. But I think, to be honest, like with my wife, for example, I said to her, "You see that first lady, that first lady, that first lady? Don't be like none of them." Listen, I'm in love with you, and I need you to be the kind of first lady that you are at home, at church. Remain the same. The title don't change who you are to me. So we don't be front and change and be something that we ain't.
I tried, but pause right there. But I did try
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me stop y'all. I didn't get on here to talk about nothing y'all talking about.
First of all, you weren't invited. You were not scheduled for this thing.
I didn't get on here to talk about nothing y'all talking about. So yeah, and y'all going into all them long drawn out conversations like I can comment. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, okay. Well, don't say nothing.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
We actually would prefer that.
I just got on here to greet the people.
Okay,
And,
well, great.
I'm finna go back to bed because I can't breathe. So yeah.
Sir, please, yeah.
Just get on you was just going into a full dissertation, and I did not get on it for that. So God bless y'all parts and all y'all's parts. Good evening.
What was that? That's probably some petty stuff that I would have done.
So now you get a taste of the extra on top of not just being a first lady, but being a wife to a sickly person that you have to deal with.
I think.
Hold on. First of all, I'm not sickly.
Yeah, you are.
You can't cough saying that, sir. In the middle of your.
Second of all, I'm not extra. So let's just get all that corrected. You see what happens when you absent, people get on here and lie. See, that's how they do at your funeral. When you die, they get up and just lie because you can't correct them.
So while you alive, you about to do all the correction?
I'm gonna go on and correct it while I'm yet breathing. Because ain't nobody gonna lie at my funeral. That's why it's invitation only.
Well, first of all, we're not at a funeral. Thank you.
Well, I was just correcting you because you started as soon as I got off. See, you didn't say that when I was wrong.
But everything you just said proved my point. You just proved my point.
soon as I got home, you start talking about, see, this what it is. Not only be married to a pastor, but to be married to somebody extra and sickly. You said that when I got home. No, no, I was just saying that's what happened
My stance remains.
when you absent people lie when you ain't.
Okay, do me a favor, click that little red button.
You don't want her to go pinch your oxygen tank.
Yeah, you might want to go and get off.
Just pinch the like what you said.
Make sure I'm shaking it now. Make sure, you know, because she know better. But anyway, y'all enjoy. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for coming on.
I'm with you, Mitchell.
Well, God
Oh
bless
my God.
you.
I'm with you.
Y'all carry on. Don't be like, really? Really? Is that what we're doing, Billy? That's what we that's what we're doing. I thought you were my brother. We supposed to stick together.
Before I come step on your cord. Get off.
She said she'll stay the court. Mitchell, we love you, Doc.
Y'all are terrible. Y'all good night. Don't be talking about me behind my back. I'm gonna watch this video later.
Oh my God. Okay.
Mitchell.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I can't. Like,
I think that was unique. Now we gotta wait like 10 seconds before we make comments about it, or he gonna dial back
he'll
in.
pop back in. Yeah. I'm scared to say anything right now.
He ain't pop back in yet. And second of all, I just want to tell y'all, I don't need all the oxygen. I need some of the oxygen, okay? And I ain't sick. You just got something caught in your throat. I understand.
Okay, yeah.
But I was saying though that I think that I got my eye on he just happened. Thanks for the lower levels. That's the unique. You know, I got my eye on. Listen, y'all, listen, you can't pay for this kind of show. This you're lying. Listen. We got
do this for him again.
We got folk on live. Listen, if y'all got comments, just make the comments. We can read it out and say something. Robert Wilkerson said Bishop Mitchell is in the house. Well, you know, he ain't got no other choice to be in the house. Okay,
can't go nowhere else.
He ain't go nowhere else. You know, he ain't got no choice. You know, that's you know, and so.
He's in the house, all right.
So what I was saying though, before he popped back in.
Before you were rudely interrupted.
Oh, you were saying something?
Yeah, you scared the heck out of me. You know, it was just him.
And third of all,
yeah, I wasn't ready.
But I tried after we got married, and he did talk to me before we got married and was like, you know, I don't need you to be anybody but you, and all this other stuff. But soon as that position became official, and it just felt like women of the church were watching me differently, and I was like, I know the Kika that I know the Kika that I am, and I know I'm a bit, you know, rough around the edges, but let me see if I can fit this little hat that, you know, some people tend to wear. But it just, more that I tried to fit in that being called first lady and stuff, it made me uncomfortable because I felt like I couldn't reach out to other women in like the way that I used to. And I felt like
I didn't know both his eyes work. All right, go ahead.
I felt like I needed to, like, it was a conversation between me and my husband for real, where he said some things to me, and it started off as an argument, and he was like, "You changed. You're becoming something that you're not, and I don't like that." And I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about? Yeah. I married you. You were a pastor." He was like, "But I'm your husband first. So when did you start doing this, and now you acting all
Yeah.
like everything around us has to be a certain way. Like he used the word sanctified. Like even at home, I was just
Listen,
like,
because when I get out the pulpit, I ain't got time. I don't want to talk church.
Ah,
I'm trying to tell my wife how beautiful she looking.
how you really feel.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh my God, go away.
Yeah. And third of all,
See, you see,
what's happening?
I told I told my wife, don't listen to what nobody tell you, because they not
yeah,
married to me. They
yeah,
can't they can't tell you from what they experience, because you don't need to be worried about being the first lady. You need to be worried about being my wife. Because ain't no first lady.
come
Because if
on.
first lady, that means it's a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth somewhere.
Yeah, I'm the last and the only.
I give up them days when I married her.
You sure right. You better
So
I
she has to worry about being my wife. Anyway, all right, I'm going. Thank y'all.
he drops the mic again.
have.
I think I
Y'all
just
come get y'all brother.
I don't understand what's happening. I think that you
I'm gonna do a
know,
drive by on that ox machine and hit that power button. You keep playing.
you should just turn it up. You know, and just give them much oxygen today.
It needs to be off.
But seriously, though, I think that my issue then was I didn't want to. I believe that the home should be a safe place for my wife not to have to worry about being the first lady.
Right.
I'm not the kind of pastor to where all my members about to know my address. You're not about to just pop up on me. My wife to be wife at home, be Takika at home, and don't have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about always, walk around, look ratchet, baby. Let your hair not be done. We don't got no neighbors. That's church members, not our church. Now, we got some neighbors that we don't really like. They're little.
I can't.
And so I'm saying that the importance of making sure that she remain who I like, and I remain who she like, because the church and that this is the sad part is that the church experienced more from their pastor than the wife experienced from her husband. The pastor is
Mm.
more in tune with the church than he is to his wife and to his home. The pastor is more in tune with the needs of the people than he is the needs of his household. And so I think that if we spend more time making sure my wife is cool and not just when it's time to front. I have told my wife that if we get in an argument, we can argue all the way up to the church. But when we get out the door,
Turn it off. Turn it off.
and then we can start back afterwards because we got a job to do. That's just like how I tell the praise team. You
Oh my God. Oh my. I quit. I'm leaving.
Hey,
Bye.
hey, how you doing? Yeah, she just out.
Yeah, you can't be up there rolling your eyes and looking crazy while I'm preaching.
Hey, turn your camera off so people won't see me turning your oxygen off. Can you hit your camera off real quick?
Ain't none
I
of
don't want the
that.
people to see that.
Ain't none of that. Frowning, rolling your eyes, smacking your lips, fake chewing gum, and doing all that while I'm preaching because you mad. You need to you need to fix all of that before I get up to preach. And you better say amen loud and clap real hard, just like I would piss you off in the car. And then when we get back in the car, we just press that play button because that is just all we did was put it on pause. But I'd rather than preach the hell out of you by the time you get back to the car, so you ain't picking up on no argument.
So it would
So
have
what
been. So it's
if
automatically his fault.
it's the husband that got the hell in him, but the wife ain't the preacher? So who will
Well,
preach the hell?
I'm gonna preach. I'm gonna preach the hell out of both of them, so that by the time we get back to the car, it ain't gonna be no issue. We done.
Now, I can attest to that personally, is that there's been times where me and my wife wasn't seeing eye to eye. We get to church. And because me and my wife work as a team at home, at church, wherever we are, I was like, we got a little kid in our background.
Yeah, the midget.
What happened?
It was like a little ghost that went past. I said, what? I said, oh, that's
Circus around here today, people. I'm sorry.
That must be one of my children. I ain't paying attention to nothing that's going on in the house. I don't know nothing going on. I just got home from the hospital. I don't know what's going on. I got home, house clean and everything. I thought my stuff had got packed up. The house was so clean. I didn't know what was going on. I thought they was trying to
Really?
shit me out. I had to roll them. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't know nothing. I don't know nothing that's going on around here. Just
um,
I'm lost.
um,
I couldn't find nothing that I was looking for. Everything was put up in the wrong place. So I don't know nothing that's going on. I just sitting in my chair, minding my business.
what? Maybe this is a moment where we should allow him to vent. And
He got so much to say. I mean,
Just
first
sitting
lady,
over in my chair with my blanket, and I, I look like I'm in the. It looked like one of them old men in the convalescent home. I was just in the corner in my blanket with my house shoes on, and just sitting
so
over there
Pastor, do we
rocking,
just need to take a minute to talk
oh,
about you?
somebody come bathe me. Somebody come bathe me.
sitting over there rocking and chewing, but it ain't nothing in my mouth. Just chewing.
You chewing your gum?
He chewing on air, and the air tastes good. And the
And
moment he chews,
I don't even know why I'm sitting over there chewing. I'm just chewing, but it ain't nothing in my mouth.
you know you're gonna be dead after this live. That's what I'm
So,
saying.
hey,
I'm gonna let him have this moment. I'm gonna let him be great for a minute.
it'll be a small funeral because of Corona. Thank the Lord.
Oh my God.
We're trying to
That
talk about serious issues right now
way, that way people
in the
won't be able to
Lord's
come in
church.
Somebody needs to get delivered and healed through this conversation now.
I mean, who been lying on you?
Uh, oh, Lord, that's a whole nother line.
What?
Can you allow us to continue our live for tonight? Please.
I don't have the breath nor the strength to start that conversation.
You've had plenty of breath and plenty of strength here in the last at least 15 minutes.
Not to start the conversation. Of the question you just asked of who been lying on me. I don't have the breath.
Okay, never mind. Just
Start that
yeah,
conversation.
we'll get to that another time, another day.
So
Okay.
anyway, like I was saying, I forgot what I was talking about at the beginning. So I'm gonna
Don't
get on.
worry.
All right,
Thank you.
y'all go ahead.
God bless you.
You see, he has been diagnosed, for all of you that don't know, he's been diagnosed with CRN. He can't remember nothing on CRN. And the problem is that he's trying to overcome that, but many times he tried to remember, but then he can't remember nothing. And so you have
The
to keep
best of them.
it.
So let me ask you this question.
You better hurry up.
Bishop. I know. Let me talk fast. So because you were pastoring before you were married, as a single man, and oh my God,
What is happening? What is this?
And why is he so close? Why is he so close?
Why is he on stalker?
He know he's gonna lie.
I can't do this.
I don't think he know he's lying. I hope he don't say nothing, Lord Jesus. Was he asleep? Did he come on live and go to sleep? Hello, Mitchell? Hello?
It's all
Well, thank you guys for watching. We're just here, just enjoying let's talk.
sorry, I had to go turn his air off, so he can't say nothing. For oh,
I want all the people out there in Facebook and YouTube land to know that should I wake up dead in the morning, look up, the woman in the middle.
The woman in the middle.
He said she might wake up dead in the morning. What's happening?
He's still pointing at her. He's still pointing. Why you won't just take the keyboard from her?
know what you're getting yourself into when you say I do.
Oh, God.
Make sure you evaluate your mate.
I just.
Once you say I do, you did.
But you had a question that you wanted to hurry up and ask.
I did have a question, and it could help all those single men out there. So because you were pastoring or a pastor or had been in ministry to some extent prior to being married, as a single man, was that a factor for you in looking for your mate or choosing your mate? Like, how would she be as a first lady? Was that one of your determining factors?
If I was to be honest and transparent for a moment, if I was the man I am now than I was then, I would have been married only one time. And I think my issue was that I was worried about pleasing and keeping the image for the church, and making sure that the church is pleased with the image of what I'm presenting to the church. I think that when you are more concerned with making sure that your front is looking good, and not realizing that your back is looking bad. When you put everything to the front and you leaving nothing in the back, you ain't fooling nobody but the people that's in front, and the ones that matter is in the back. And so that was my issue, is that I made a decision based off of what's going to make me look good before the people. But when church is over with, though, and when the preaching is undone, and when when there's nobody else to pray for, and you leave out the church and you go in your car and you realize that you have no life.
Right.
When you are preaching and praying for, I know my screen is freezing. Are you able to hear me out? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When you're preaching and you're praying and you're ministering to people, and you go home and you realize that you're not as happy as you are with the people that you minister to. It's a certain level of depression that a pastor have that he don't realize that he really have. It's nothing like ministering to people and giving all that you have to the people that you're ministering to, and you hearing their testimonies. I've been delivered. I've been set free. God has really blessed me. Your word has really changed me. I've been impacted by how God has used you. God has gave you the words that I've been looking for. And then you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, why I can't have an ounce of what they're getting. And that was an eye opener for me that I have to learn how to live my life, love my life, and make a decision that's good for my life. Preaching is not my life, and I was fooling myself for so long saying that preaching is my life, and I want to make sure that I make it clear on what I'm saying.
Please do,
Um,
because somebody will take that wrong.
oh yeah. It's my job to love God. Then it's my job to love my wife.
Hmm.
Then it's my job to love my family. Then the church. When you get to the point to where the church supersedes everything,
Right.
that's that's bad. And there's a lot of people to where they're in that boat to where the church has become more important than your family. If you was to take a um, if you was to take a poll anonymously where people were the family, where your family could honestly say, all right, let's put it like this. If every pastor was saying, I'm going to make a decision on continue pastoring based off of how I'm rated, and that rating will come from your family. The question is, would you still be pastoring?
That's
If
good.
your family is the ones that will give you the rating of how awesome you are, would you still be pastoring? And that's really the question. Am I making my church more happy than what I'm doing to my family? Am I more of a pastor to my church than I am to as a father to my kids, as a husband to my wife? And I just wanted to make sure that when I chose someone like her, that she's someone that I love outside the church. She makes me look good outside of the church. When I go home and there ain't nobody to impress and there ain't nobody to affront, do I still love my wife? When she pissed me off and when I don't feel love from her, do I still like her? And there's a lot of pastors. If we was to be honest, there's a lot of pastors that's married and don't like the person that they're married to. But
Right.
they're in because it looks good for their church. And they can't afford. And I know what I'm saying will make a lot of people mad because they're still suffering from what I've been delivered from.
Hmm.
Yes. And so I believe in marriage. I believe in the importance of it. And if I'm not happy, who am I fooling? Nobody but myself. If my wife and kids could be happy, somebody said, if you want to know how good a pastor is doing when he's preaching, look at his wife. And, and I think that's a true statement for real. How is she being? What's her body? Her body language. How is she? And she like, here you go with the same sermon. He just switched the switch the title up. Here you go, front and lion.
I
I'm
can.
just there. And so
Yeah.
that I don't believe that even answers your question. I just
It's all
found a
good.
moment.
I'm enjoying it.
I found a moment to say what a lot of people have been needing to hear. And my decision was I chose to marry for love and not for the popularity in church.
So, would you go to the extent to say that um, a pastor or a church is only as successful as the marriage of the pastor and the first lady?
Say
Would
that
you go
one more.
that far as to say that? Would you say that the success of a church is only as is predicated on the success and the strength of the marriage between their pastor and their first lady?
No,
You think that totally differs?
And I'm gonna answer it with the proof of this. There is a lot of churches that is very successful that is married, and that marriage is not successful, and the church had no idea that the marriage is not even making it. There's a lot of churches that's doing well, and truth be told, the pastor and wife ain't doing well. Can you see it? If the church cared about the pastor and wife, sure. But a lot of members is more worried about who's the person in front of me. Are they making sense? Are they ministering to me? Cool. And so I think it's a matter of me and my wife ministry. We attract couples. We attract family. We attract people that want to be entrepreneurs. We attract people that it's about family. And so if our marriage failed, yes, our ministry would, because that's our actual ministry. But there's people to where they just want a church where the preacher preach well. And so if his marriage failed, it really will make a difference to the church. And that's a sad thing. But I think the bigger question is, do the church know what they're married to?
Mm-hmm.
For an example, if I'm a church and if I decide to, if my church is in a neighborhood and that neighborhood and the church decides to move out of the neighborhood, close down, and the neighborhood don't even realize that the church is moving, that they have moved, and that they have even closed down. But your neighborhood church, that shows that you was not really. You have a lot of highly successful churches with single pastors.
Yeah, that was my fault.
That's true.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And so the reason why I was saying that is that the marriage only affects certain type of churches, but
Mhm.
you don't have to be married to have a successful church. So,
You and that's absolutely
now that was slow motion.
true.
Now you're coming across kind of frozen.
So
I don't know if it's just us, but I really want to hear what your question is. Can you repeat it in just a minute? Yes.
can you hear me now? No, that might be me.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I pose that question because yes, you do have a lot of churches with single pastors that are very successful. But on the flip side, that's what that church has started out with. That's what that church's foundation is built upon. So it would not be predicated on someone else because there is no one else. That pastor is everything to that ministry. However, the rift comes when you introduce a first lady where into an already established church, into a very already successful ministry by a what was previously a single pastor. And if that first lady is not to the standard of the church members, or does not marry well into her role as a first lady and become what that church needs, I don't care how successful you were as a single pastor, you now have an issue because I've seen first ladies on their own tear down a ministry.
Right.
So you introduce a whole nother aspect. And so I personally believe it is very important, the success in the success of a marriage, because yes, you can have people that are married and have a successful church and they not get along, but that only lasts for so long.
But I think
After a while,
the question should be, can a marriage remain successful in a church setting? For real, I mean, I think marriages that, see, when you have a single pastor, the question is the wife, the fiance, the girlfriend, she should be trying to figure out Am I married? Am I been married into a singles ministry?
Mm-hmm.
To where is this a setup? Pastor, are you preparing the church for me to come in to be a part of this ministry? How have you raised your church? Are they even going to accept a first lady? And I think that it should start with the first lady figuring out who she is as a person. Am I the kind of person that don't mind being that reserved first lady, sitting on the first row, second row, third row? Do I mind being the first lady that's just quiet? Do I mind being that first lady that's involved heavily in the ministry? Do I mind being the first lady that have a gifted calling on my life? Do I mind being the first lady to where we are a partnership? See, I think here's the issue is that the husband and the wife haven't figured out who they are outside of church. So, for example, me and my wife, we are a partner naturally. We're a partner business. We're a partner in a lot of things that we do. So naturally, in church, we are a partner. That's just like who you are as a Christian. Who you are naturally should be a reflection of who you are as a Christian. For an example, I cannot be a mean, hateful person, but I'm an usher. Boo-boo that on that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't not like people and say, I want to be a part of hospitality. No, you chasing titles. That don't even make sense. Who are you naturally? I'm a giver. I am a carer. So who you are spiritually, that should match. You don't change who you are because you got saved. No, you change your sinful ways, but who you are naturally will reflect who you are as a Christian. So who I am naturally to my wife and how we are and how our union is outside of the church should reflect inside of the church. When you see me and my wife inside the church and how we are, you're going to see that outside of the church. If you see anything different, that means either we lying or y'all blind. But I'm pretty sure it's we're lying.
I think another thing is when it comes to, I guess, my own experience and having a single pastor and seeing how the women are and being that I was an administrator or his assistant, I think that for me, like I told him, I respect single pastors that build their church. Just be careful to a degree because your church will be overflooded with women. And then
that was my next point.
Each women have a mindset of it got to be me because I'm taking care of him. It got to be me because I'm bringing him food. It got to be me because their spiritual life turns into this praying life, not P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y. And then when you finally decide that I have when you finally decide that I have the woman that I want and that I want to marry, and you bring her in the church, they're going to start trying to tear her apart. So I agree as far as her knowing her place in the church. But I also feel that it is the future husband or the man who I'm courting, as they put it, it is his duty to inform his church. Because the thing about it is that these pastors know that they're getting spoiled by their members. So he already knows who's the hardest one I have to deal with, who's the one I'm gonna have to break it to heavily and give her a minute and all this stuff. They know it. To me, being that I've been in the position of a pastor's assistant, they know these things, but in their mindset, now they'll wear off. They'll be okay. You can't do that when you're introducing a woman into a single field where there are women that have taken care of this single pastor, because immediately it's not just their defense of I'm just trying to protect my pastor. It comes along with jealousy. It comes along with I was doing this for him. Now somebody, not because they're lusting, it's because that was their position.
Or how many women are there in that ministry? Because that was my next point on how does a single man set up his church to introduce a woman when your ministry is filled with women who they say the Lord told him that you're my husband.
See, but let me say this though. And now I gotta flip the script, because a lot of times it is not the pastor looking and bringing those women inside the church. When you see a single man in the church he can preach. Let's just tell the truth. If you see a preacher, he can preach well, he hoops well, he could bring it. It could be the most ugliest preacher with the most finest girls chasing after him. They're after that, and that's just the truth. And so, hey, Mitchell.
Hey, Pastor.
Hey, she got to say.
You have something to say?
Uh, yes, I'll let BD finish, and then I'll say what I have.
Okay.
I think that it's. I think. This way. I think that it is. It's not the pastor's fault. I think a lot of them, because they want to come and be the next first lady or be the one that he's dating. I think it got to do with the pastor having the integrity, saying if I don't respect myself, let me respect my office. And so, can the pastor effectively be a single pastor? Yes, I think he can. But it's a matter of now, if he's going to go into the phase of I want to marry, he should not spring that onto his church out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as he's dating her and he know that they're now going into the phase of marriage, the church, I think, should be dating her also. I think the church should see what a single pastor is, and then letting them see the experience, watching that pastor date with integrity, get engaged, and then marry with integrity. I think that if you walk your church through those steps, yeah, sure, you're going to lose some members because they thought they was going to be the next. But let's be honest, I'm a little different because I don't mind losing a few tie pairs because you think you about to disrespect my wife and think you're covered because you pay tithes. That ain't gonna happen. I think it's for the pastor to make sure that he draw that line. If you're gonna make my plate, you're gonna make her plate too. If you're gonna bring me some cake, you're gonna bring her some cake too. And if you don't like that, there's another pastor, married or single, that will mind you doing that foolishness over there. But as for here, there's no such thing as you could disrespect my wife and I'm gonna be fine with it. Number one, before I was a pastor, I was a nigga first. Bless you. Sorry, y'all. I know I just offended somebody. Bless your heart. Amen. Go ahead, Pastor Jay. Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to say. You said everything I was gonna say.
And he drops the mic and he's out.
Oh my sweet God. Why?
Lady T, what would I do? No, for real. You can't just disrespect the wife and think that I'm supposed to just let it happen because you're tired.
Look, the thing about it is, what I have to say that I do admire about our members. When I first came around, everybody was in shock because they didn't know who I was or what was going on. All I did was immediately go into work mode. Whatever it is that was needed, that's what we're going to do. But then once we relocated and he talked to his core, I want to say core team, and I guess it's because I'm used to seeing that. But he talked to his core people and informed them of who I was and all this other stuff. When we relocated, it was more of, they asked me, what do I like to do? What am I involved in? And I took some things that I loved and I brought it in and let them know, okay, this was my baby, but we can all take care of this together. And what I loved about the members that did come and that, supported us, they didn't treat me like, ugh. They treated me like, okay, this is our pastor and we want our pastor to be taken care of. And the best part was being told that you give off this vibe that you care about our pastor. And I love those members because they were that way. I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm a hippie at heart. I'm just a viber. I just flow. I love to just be in a bomb atmosphere. Spiritually, I love to be in a spiritual atmosphere. I don't play when it comes to spiritualism at all. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. And I love that my husband knows that about me. And even with that, it became a part of ministry within itself because I've always battled with religion and spiritualism. And I love that in at our church, it's a vibe of spiritualism. You don't get that from everybody. Being a pastor's wife is being a wife is a job within itself. Being
Oh,
a
yes, Lord.
because being a pastor's wife is one thing, but being a bishop's wife is more of when I'll say it like this: when your husband is a pastor, you know he's going to have them late night phone calls. You know people that want to get killed and delivered at midnight hours because they ain't got nothing else to do.
I ain't probably nobody.
I know. Let me finish.
They better wait till
And they
Let
morning.
her
know,
finish. Let her finish.
and they know that some women think they can get away with that. But the thing about Takika is that she blunt, transparent. I'm not playing when it comes to my husband and his rest. I'm not playing when it comes to ministry. So you're not going to call here faking to get attention. No, my husband is not getting up at no 12 midnight to come to your house because you got some issues going on. Those issues will be there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Amen.
But the thing about it is, my grandmother always told me, she said, you got to respect the members when it comes to you are a pastor's wife. So you're going to have to put aside some things. I think I've done better at that. I don't like a lot of stuff, but
Don't you turn your head that fast, brother.
I
Turn
just
your head that fast like she didn't tell the truth.
he's raising his hand.
All right, yes. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Pastor Jay.
I want to say, we we started Life Center together,
Mm-hmm.
and the people like you better than they like me.
Which is so surprising. It really is so surprising.
and we
But that
started
is true.
we started RCC together, and I love the fact that, especially Sherry, I love me some Sherry Haywood, like to life. I love her because she loves me outside of Bishop D.D. Allen. She
Listen,
loves
I can't just call one name. I said the whole church like her, but they like me. I'm,
I
I'm
can't
not saying I'm not
names.
saying they don't like me, but yeah, they yeah they thought her how's Bishop. Well, Bishop's doing fine. Okay, well, hey girl, yeah, let me. I'm like, oh yeah, thought y'all called to check on me. They called check on me. She tell
They
her,
did call and check on you.
hey, he at home. They be like, oh, okay, girl, yeah, what you doing? What you cook, man? I'm like, you need
What you
something?
could.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, okay, that's what we do around here. So
So you're a little
she can't,
salty. That's what it boils
she
down
can't,
to.
she can't say she been one of the first ladies that had the issues with where the members fight her and all of that.
Oh yeah, I've
They,
absolutely never had
I
the
mean,
issue.
members of Life Center, they love Lady T.
And I love them back.
I mean, they love her, and sometimes she might get a glass of water before me. That's just
Now that's not true, sir. That is not true. They will
or,
serve you before me.
or it's a situation like I'm getting ready to preach, and like my executive assistant, he'll go if he needs to go replenish something in my bag, he'll go and get what I need. But for some reason, he always brings back a cold Coke. And I'm like, I don't drink Coke after I preach. Oh, this for first lady. I'm like, how she get a Coke and you was supposed to be going to somewhere? She ain't asked for the Coke, but it shows up. I'm like, okay.
Well, I think that speaks volumes of how they feel about their
Exactly.
I
That's
just be
always
I'd be like, she ain't doing nothing. She ain't even pray. She ain't
Oh my
sung a, she ain't even
pray.
sung a congregational song today. What she needs something to drink for? Why does she
To help
need?
me intercede in the spirit. It helps my spirit.
Why she need something? And she ain't even harmed in church.
I have. Oh my God.
She
Okay.
didn't
So
she didn't even whistle in church.
first of all, you're not
You
supposed to
know,
whistle in church.
now I tend to agree, but um I'll be going against my own self because see just how I said if you don't give me something, you give her something. So when they bring me my stuff afterwards, they make sure she get the
That's
same thing
right.
too.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm talking about I'm getting ready to preach. And before I preach, I like to have white glacier white cherry Gatorade and a lot of crushed ice from Sonic or QT. But I'm trying to understand if you got to go to the store to get me some crushed ice, why does a Coke come back? That's not on my regimen.
But mind you,
And
you said I didn't ask for it. So,
that's not on my regimen. So I'm trying to understand. She ain't prayed. She ain't read the, she ain't read the script.
She got a coat.
She didn't whistle.
Are you saying she ain't worthy of a coke, Doc?
he says I'm undeserving. I'm undeserving of the coke that I got that I didn't ask for.
She not, in other words, what I'm trying to say, she ain't did nothing to be parched, to perspire, or reduce her
There are bigger issues in the world right now other
level of
than why I got a coke.
so she, cause she's not on here. But I know you watching it, so
Thank you, Elder Torrance.
I
I,
need an
I
explanation of why she gets a Coke
You don't have to
before
give
I
that explanation. It's greatly appreciated how you care for your bishop elect and Tiandria. I love you to life. Thank you for every coke you've given me without me having to ask. That's just like the Lord. He'll
was
give you the
getting
desires of your heart without me even having to ask.
I just want to tell them that
was getting ready to start, was getting ready to start happening. For every Coke she drink,
Oh my gosh.
15 minutes into my sermon, I'm gonna pass her the mic. And she better grab it, hollering and squalling.
come on,
So I
Lady
gotta work
T.
for my coke.
So here's my question. Do you got a squall in your mouth?
She better find one, because for every Coke she drinks before I preach,
You
I
got to
don't
preach.
I don't
15 minutes into my sermon, she getting that mic.
I have a word, but I'm not gonna squall.
She better
Yeah.
they get that mic and say, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Lord, I wish I had a voice and some breath. She better get that mic and say,
It seems like you're doing pretty good without either.
yeah.
All right, God bless you. Well,
Whoa,
I had another question, but we'll save it for another
yeah.
segment as he's still going on
God,
mute, honey.
whoa, yes.
Bishop, Bishop, Bishop elect. Good night, sir.
Yes,
Good night.
yes, yes, Lord. She, she better say something. She better sing a song or something. She getting that mic past 15 minutes in. She getting that for every coat that she gets before I preach. That's
We got
me.
you code.
That's
That's
five
that's
minutes,
yes,
that's
sir. We got
5 minutes of the sermon she has to participate
it.
in.
So
Okay, well, I'll discontinue my coke drinking in church. All right,
she
thank
Lord,
you.
I thank you for this coke. And as I pour the coke in my drink, in my cup. Yes, sir. Speaking of coke, yeah, I wasted it on me. But listen,
I wish I had one right now.
What's wrong
I'm saying just preach about the coke.
Thank y'all so much
Oh,
for joining us tonight. I hope you've had as much fun as I have. Seems the only way we're going to get Bishop-elect off this phone is if we get off ourselves. So
Well,
we love
I
you
know
all.
y'all carry on.
Continue to pray. Continue to keep us in your prayers. Thank you to my brother and my sister, Bishop Dee Allen and Lady Takika Allen from Los Angeles, California. I always enjoy having you guys on. And we'll continue to say, oh, he's back.
Hey, he's coming back. There it is. This conversation's over. This foolishness is about to take place. Won't he quench your thirst?
Oh, what you? This is what marriage is about. Being married to
come
pastors.
in the camera, baby. Y'all come close.
This is the stuff you have.
None of that conversation kind of took place, but that's okay.
Thank y'all for stepping in tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, one day you will stop having us as stand-ins, but that's another conversation.
Well, you kind of took over the show, sir. I mean, truth be told.
Nicole!
Who took over the show?
You, because we didn't get a chance to talk about nothing we wanted to talk about.
I ain't even been on here, so I don't know what you talking about.
Why is your oxygen against leaning to the side? Like, fix your oxygen. It's gangster leaning, Doc. You ain't.
Don't even get into that. We're gonna just ignore it.
I ain't even been on here on your show, on your old show.
Okay. All right. Love y'all. Good night.
The show ain't good. The show ain't good except that I'm on anyway.
Tune in on Sunday for our special guest preacher, Minister Caleb S. Mitchell.
Come on, Nick.
Join us noon
It's
Sunday.
It's our official church birthday celebration, so we're excited. And I'm so happy to have my brother. This is his first time preaching at the Life Center. And he's doing it virtually, and he's doing our official day for our church birthday. So I'm excited about Sunday.
I'm not gonna say nothing else. Go ahead and close us out.
Oh no, go ahead. This is your show tonight.
What?
Watch you bust up the mic. And I'm out.
This ain't been my show since I started, but okay. Thank you for that plug there. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, the Allens. I love you guys dearly.
You did a great job.
Oh.
You did so good. You need to go ahead and get your Facebook page. You did so well.
Now, I second that. I do agree. You need to get your Facebook page, man.
You did so good. Matter of fact, you know, y'all tune in. Not just this Sunday, but next Sunday, because we will have a special guest speaker. Lady Tei is gonna bring the word next Sunday. So tune in live at noon. I'm still in my recovery process. I've got another week that I have.
I'm sorry, y'all. He didn't mean that. His oxygen is low. Just go ahead and disregard the last part that he said. We're gonna get that oxygen thing worked out though.
3 Cokes. That's 45 minutes.
No, the fly is going up tomorrow. So Lady Tei is gonna be bringing the word next Sunday. So y'all tune in. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be the guest psalmist. I'm gonna put my oxygen on 6 so I can do a demonic solo.
Demonic solo. It's gonna sound like you. It's gonna sound like. It's gonna sound like.
It's gonna sound like something.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Jesus. I just need you to rock like
Please keep me in your prayers.
rock like
I need them.
I'm gonna get on and say, Jesus, all around me every day. I want you to
put your hands and your takes up.
heaven along the way. I know, yes, Lord. I
Y'all just hang up. Just hang up.
know
We gonna keep going on and on.
God is all.
I'll talk to y'all later. Tune in Sunday at noon. Catch us next
I
Tuesday.
can't hang up because he's joining in.
I mean, just sis, help me out. Reach over there and press the button to exit.
Jesus.
Go ahead and close out, babe. Go ahead and close out.
I didn't close out 5 times. Shout out to Cynthia for snatching my scalp. I appreciate it. I'm done. I done said everything I needed to say about 5 times now. I love you
Thank God.
guys. Good
Thank
night.
all the people. Thank the people for watching on YouTube.
I have a number of times. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. Go do it again, just for my sake. I'm gonna hurt.
Turn your eyes down so you can hear it good. Is she praying?
I will be too.
Thank you guys for bearing with me through this whole ordeal. Y'all keep me in your prayers. Yeah. Pray my strength in the Lord. I love you. Good night. Good night. Good night. Hang up.
Good night.
Yeah, please keep praying for me. Thank you for all your prayers.
Did she just exit out? She go? She had enough of us?
Good night.
God,
This is an after party.
I'm out.
You go too?